evening. Good Sunday evening to everyone. Oh my gosh, what is Bullhorn Betty doing? What is she doing? I don't know. I have no clue what I'm doing. I have no clue. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know what I'm doing this evening, right? Actually, I'm reading. As you guys could tell, I never got. Who came to church today? If you came to church with us with the coffee club, if you don't know, we go to church. Yes, we have a group of us that love an online church, and we just go there every morning and fill up our cup for the week. If you were in church today, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to see. Yeah, you don't have to put a 2 in the chat if you didn't go. I ain't calling you out like that. But if you were in church, put a 1 in the chat. I was in church. I'll type a 1 in the chat. Hold on. Let me put my 1 in the chat. There we go. My 1's in the chat. My 1's officially in the chat. Oh, Willie, you didn't go with us? Why didn't you go with us? What? Say what? So, good evening, everyone. I am Bullhorn Betty, and we are going to be talking about the Bryan Kohberger case and this DNA because there's been so much conversation about it. So, good evening. It's me, Jen. It's nice to see you, Sonia. Mama Llama is in the house. I thought I saw somebody else. I think I passed. Hold on a second. Oh, it was just me. I'm here. It's nice to see you. Willie, I love it. You know, that's why I went back up because I saw that when I was coming into the chat. Touch DNA is nowhere near enough. I love your response. I kind of feel that way too. I have to be honest with you. I kind of feel that way too. I actually kind of feel that everything kind of singularly would never be enough. And that's what's so great about these trials is because everything singularly in many of these cases would never be enough. But when you start compounding the facts and saying, oh, look over here and look at this and look at this, and you put the building blocks on, but we're going to get into it. We're going to discuss it because I'm curious what the audience thinks about this touch DNA and whether they think this is as powerful as everybody's making it out to be. It's possible. It's possible. DNA is DNA. Everybody wants DNA in a case, especially a case like this. So we're going to break it down. So it's nice to see you, Willie. Thank you for being here and participating. Colette, it's nice to see you. Cranky Pants, good to see you. Shannon, Hindsight 2020. Angie, I think I already said hi to you, Mama Llama, but if I didn't, hi. If everybody has, look who we have. Who is this? Is this our big boy? We love you, big boy. We love you. We miss you. We miss you. I got to be honest with you. I'm starstruck. Bullhorn Betty starstruck. I swear. Pebbles, good morning. Mama Shell Bell. Did I just say good morning? We are the coffee club. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. If I say good morning again, forgive me. It's progress, not perfection. We are Sunday. This is show 2, right? We're doing good. Ronnie, it's nice to see you, love. Nice to see you. Jesus loves me. Yes, he does. Cool Gamer Row, nice to see you all. Everybody else, Emma M's in the house. It's nice to see you. Junkyard Dog. Wine Club? Possibly. You got some wine? I got the club. Just saying. So I'm reading this article that came out just a few hours ago from the New York Post, and they're talking. It's almost like a self-serving article. I have to be honest with you. For me personally, like I truly believe that this article is kind of self-serving because the expert that they're using when I was reading this sounds like it's coming from their own team because it says right here. Hold on, where did I find it? Hold on, I think I went too far up. There's Rollins. Where did his first name come from? I read it and it sounded like he was. Rollins said he expects Kohberger's attorneys, but Rollins is somebody with this newspaper. Still, Rollins 57 said there's too many things, other things that potentially tie accused murderer to the quadruple killing, such as the white Hyundai, the same car seen at the crime scene shortly after the murders. Additionally, but I can't remember when I was reading this, and I don't know where it's at. I think I missed it somehow. But it sounds like this guy, Ted Rollins, here it is, who has covered high-profile trials for more than 20 years. So because he's covered high-profile, oh, hey, Huntress, nice to see you. Because he's covered high-profile cases for 20 years, he's an expert. Okay, let me tell you. First of all, this is just my philosophy. This is my opinion. I think I'm going to open up the phones. I'm going to open up the phones and we're going to have a conversation about this. If the phone starts ringing too much and I start getting annoyed, but I'm just going to open up the panel and you guys can just come up on the panel and talk. But I've got to say, and we should probably go back to the probable cause affidavit and read it. I've got it pulled up, so I'm going to ask. See, Turtle Boy doesn't have a motive to advocate for Karen Reed, but I actually have a motive with this case, and this case absolutely disgusts me. Absolutely, Willie. So I've got to be honest with you. The people reached out to me related to Turtle Boy. I guess they think because I carry a bullhorn and I go after people, depending on a situation. I shouldn't say go after people because I don't go after people. I advocate. Right? It depends. Sometimes it's advocation for corruption. Sometimes it's advocation to get somebody, arrested for brutalizing a 20-month-old child. It might be trying to be in Tennessee to get two parents that were just at an event with another child missing where her parents are actually looking for her. And I'm talking about Don Wells and Candace Bly. Sickening, 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 sickening. And it just, anyways. I digress. But people had reached out to me about Turtle Boy and Karen Reed. Now, I because of all of the animosity and craziness that was already ensuing in that case, I wasn't going to cover it on this channel. I really wasn't. What I did, though, is I looked into the case. And the bottom line is Karen Reed just needs to accept responsibility, quit acting like something didn't happen and blaming other people. Now, I understand that the man died. I don't think this is second degree murder by any stretch of the imagination. I truly believe this is an involuntary manslaughter. But at the end of the day, even though if you are wearing the badge or not, if you make a poor decision, you need to be held accountable for that poor decision. And when I looked at everything that I looked at, and people don't have to believe me, and I'm not here to convince people or change people's mind about Karen Reed or anything like that. I'm not trying to fight with Turtle Boy. He's got enough problems of his own. But I looked at everything. And what I've seen in that case is that Turtle Boy went overboard. I don't know if he just couldn't see the trees for the forest or the forest for the trees, however that saying goes, whatever, right? It's late. And Bullhorn Betty's on water. She doesn't have coffee soon. So work with me here, people. But no, Karen Reed, unfortunately, is not, just isn't. She's, everything I saw matches up. And it matches up the way law enforcement makes it. I don't believe there's this corruption. And trust me, I smell corruption a mile away. I've been around politics. I've been around corruption. You just learn things along the way. And I just didn't see that here. And, I'm really sorry for, the other officer. What is his name? Something O'Keefe or something like that, or I can't remember, but I really feel sorry for everything that they've been put through. I really feel sorry for everything that other people have been put through. But this is exactly why you got to be careful with what you do, and you got to use common sense. And I think Turtle Boy went overboard, and it's just something I can't support. And I actually did look into the case. I wasn't going to even do that just to see if he had, because everybody's like, but you just don't understand. You just don't understand. If you saw the case and you understood the details, oh, he's got so much more. Trust me. I'm sorry. I know my contacts. I know my research work. I don't know anybody else's. I can only do what I can do. And the work that I'm doing is telling me that she made a very poor decision. And somebody lost their life. And I don't sugarcoat stuff here to be popular or anything else. And that's the information I understand it's heartbreaking for some people. But the people that trust me to tell them the truth no matter what, whether they like to hear the result of it or not. And in this situation, unfortunately, I don't know what to say. I think Turtle Boy's compounding her problems. I can tell you that. She needs to distance herself from Turtle Boy. She needs to plead for mercy and pray God that she takes, some type of pity on her. But she's got to take responsibility. She's a law enforcement officer. You can't go in there and say, I didn't do it, and expect, leniency. You're a law enforcement. We expect more from you. And this, I don't know, I couldn't have done it. If you were that drunk that you couldn't remember, then, I understand you got to save your own skin, but at what cost? A man's dead. I don't know what else to say. A man's dead, Oh my gosh, big boy, thank you. Got me feeling away. Well, it's good to see you. What time are you? No, I need to stop. Big boy, I've been looking for a sugar daddy. I gotta be honest with you. I'm looking for a sugar daddy. Hey, will you sing me a tune? Okay, it's nice to see everybody this evening. So as you guys can see, it does have a little bit of a problem here with me, with the whole DNA situation. I think the DNA, this is kind of my stance. I'm going to read this article for you, but this is kind of my stance with the DNA. And it's aside from this article altogether. DNA is actually, she did that on purpose. I think she did that on purpose. Roxy did that on purpose, so I'd have to sing on a Sunday evening in front. So Roxy has a Bullhorn Betty birthday, so you get to hear me sing. Hear me sing. What? Voila. Okay, I think I'm ready. Hold on. Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. BHP birthday. Miss Roxy. Happy birthday to you. Hold on. La 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 la. La 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 la. Okay, I'm done. Well, wouldn't you know it? That's my nickname. I love it. We have entirely too much fun on the Bullhorn Betty channel. I have to be honest with you. So with the DNA, and this is kind of my stance on the DNA across the board, right? My Pippi Longstockings, I should stop. Pretty soon, all the hate channels are going to have thumbnails of Bullhorn Betty on windy signs. I just gave him an idea. You're welcome for that. We know you're going to do it anyways. Might as well roll with it, right? Too bad I'm too cute. What can I say? But my stance with DNA, all things, you always want DNA in, any case. I think this day and age, I think we, the people, the public, the people in the jury really just want that biological, attachment. They don't really, I don't know if they really, I try to put myself in the jury because I kind of feel like I'm normal. What is normal? It's subjective. I get normal as a subjective type of, I don't know, marker, right? But I try to put myself in there, and depending on the circumstantial evidence, I could personally, if it was a life or death situation, I take life or death very, very seriously. If I was on a jury that had the DP, I would definitely take my obligation as that juror very, very seriously because the person's life's on the line, and it does take a lot. It really does. You have to convince me that this person deserves to be convicted. And if the prosecution falls short of that, then that's on them. Whether the person is guilty or not guilty, that does not matter. It's the responsibility of our prosecuting attorneys to bring the case to trial and get that conviction. The only way they can get that conviction is convincing 12 jury members that person is guilty. What do those 12 juror members usually want? It's what you guys want, right? Hey, Carla, 357. It's nice to see you. I am Tina Sumner. Hugs and kisses. Carla, Michelle. Good morning. Good evening. It's opposite day. Oh, Lord. Okay, so, but the DNA, at the end of the day, the DNA is powerful. We want DNA. Sometimes DNA is the most powerful thing they have. And I feel like, in the lack of really a good news cycle, again, news organizations have to keep the lights on, right? So then they start reaching in deep, where they start going to a correspondent that's been covering, high profile trials for 20 years for their expert opinion for this particular New York Post. I digress. Whatever. Well, Bullhorn Betty has been covering high-profile cases for, I don't know, since I was 2. So let me just kind of give an idea. In this particular case, if this speck of DNA was missing, would it affect his conviction? I think that needs to be the most important question, to identify how important this DNA is. Because if you recall, when we were talking about this a long time ago, I said that DNA was just a sprinkle on top. The DNA, everybody was going crazy over the touch DNA, and they were like, oh, well, it's not as powerful as other types of DNA. DNA is DNA, in my opinion. This is DNA on a knife sheath. This is a foreign object that came into that house. This, to me, is very, very powerful in the fact that I think it connects Bryan Kohberger 100% with the weapon that killed these folks, and the fact that that what he came in with, half of it left with him. It just happened to be the part that went into their chests, But the other part, it seems like, I think he, at first I thought he intentionally left it there, but. And I think I thought that for a really, really long time, that he actually just intentionally left it there. But I don't know. I really don't. I think maybe he might have actually accidentally left it there, maybe through the struggle, because it sounds like Kaylee Gonzalez gave a struggle. I mean, according to everything that Steve and Christy haven't told, they've hinted around about it, the aggressive nature, because, Steve had to pay for their funerals, they had to be shipped to where, once the bodies are released to the family, they got to go somewhere. And I'm pretty sure Steve and Christy probably looked at their daughter from head to toe, because honestly, if it was any of our kids, and law enforcement was blocking us out, as hard as that had to be, and as hard as that image would be for the rest of our life, for the rest of my life, I would go look. I sure the heck would. I would want to know where every single mark, every single bruise, every single scratch, every single hematoma, every single little tiny hair out of place as a parent doing something like that. I would definitely want to know everything, especially if law enforcement wasn't telling me crap. Lily says the DoorDash driver was there at 4, they said, yet the murders happened between 4 and 4:25. 3 unknown sources of DNA. Hunter contaminating the crime scene. Too much reasonable doubt. No. I think people forget that can be explained. They actually think that when you go into court, that there's this big, huge, big box that things have to fit in. And the DoorDash driver, for all we know, Bryan Kohberger could have been in that parking lot watching that DoorDash driver drive up. And as one of them were going to the front door, he's sneaking in the back door. undetected? We don't know. We don't know. Law enforcement probably has a better handle on it. So yet the murder happened between 4 and 4:25. Yeah, and I can see where all of that could have happened. Now, getting to the 3 unknown DNA sources, those could be a problem. Those could be a problem. And this is where I think that this is where the defense may potentially be able to capitalize on this aspect, just like you said, 3 unknown DNAs, because I truly believe when they start navigating who, whether the plan B is going to be some fictitious unknown person, or if they're going to name an individual as who they believe may have done it. This is where I think the defense is going to capitalize on what has happened. It's going to be the 3 DNA sources, the fact that Dylan Mortensen did see somebody leave the house and it took over 8 hours to call. Now, some of the problems that I see with the defense is the fact that they had to concede that Bryan was in that car, and he was in that car by himself. That was a huge feat. That was huge for the prosecution. And it seemed like, for me, I felt like mainstream media really downplayed the significance of that concession. But yes, I think that there are a lot of they have a lot of stuff that they can capitalize on to help plead Bryan Kohberger's innocence. But the problem is I think that there's so much overwhelming evidence in that probable cause affidavit, and if it's in the probable cause affidavit, the likelihood of them actually being able to prove it is high. And I really think it's that, because one of the most powerful things for me in the Alec Murdaugh case, for me, I don't know what it was for each person that was watching the trial for them, but for me, it was the forensic data. It was the phone. It was the phone pings, and it was the black box in that GM truck. That is what did it for me. Because in that particular scenario, there was no DNA linking Alec Murdaugh to the murder of Paul or Maggie. It was, at the time, they didn't even know if Alec was even down there at the dog kennels. It was just by pure luck that Paul just happened to record something for a friend related to a dog that they were taking care of there. But it's just one of those things. And he was convicted in lack of true hard DNA linking him to the crime. And it's because, and some people say that with the Alec Murdaugh case, that it was, that they don't believe the prosecution proved that Alec committed the crime. And I have to agree. I have to agree. I don't think they proved that Alec committed the crime. But what they proved beyond a reasonable doubt, in my opinion, is that it couldn't have been anybody else but Alec. That's what they proved. And I almost think that was more powerful than proving that he was holding the gun and they got a candid of him shooting them. It was the fact that nobody else could have done it. Nobody had the motives, means, or opportunity to commit that crime other than Alec. So, to each their own, but that's the trolls are up and scattering late. Oh, we got some in here. I haven't even seen them. They haven't even rolled through. My mods must be doing my mods must be doing a great job. I'm not seeing them. I'm spending too much time on Willie's comments over here, right? I could talk forever. I'm a talker. I'm an entertainer. What can I say? I know, Huntress, you will have to let others know when I am in chat. It's nice to see you, Michelle. I don't, and Willie said, I don't know what that is. Touch DNA can be transferred from touch to touch. That's not all the same. And touch DNA, but I agree with you, Willie, but touch DNA is still not that way. I feel like I feel like I've had a conversation with you before, and I feel like you're using a man's name and you're a female, but that's okay. I'll give you some time. You're being respectful. I don't know why I got that feeling. It just came over me. But like literally right then when I said that, it just came over me and it came out my mouth. But touch DNA, you're right. It can transfer. But this is much different. This was touch DNA on the knife sheath. It was on the button snap, which a thumb or any other finger would most likely have had used some force to pop that button. That means Bryan Kohberger would have had to use some force to pop that button in order to put his touch DNA on that thing. So yes, I do agree that transfer DNA, touch DNA can transfer from person to person in certain circumstances. In certain circumstances, I actually absolutely concede to that. But in this particular situation, I don't think that that's the case. And I don't think that applies in this, because I think it is proven that that is on a button snap. It's not something, and I think it's almost perfect where it is. With the fact that it is touch DNA, because it's on the button snap, it's hard to transfer there. It's very difficult to transfer by rubbing or cells falling off, right? That particular spot out of all spots on that knife sheath, that would be the least convenient place that transfer would happen, in my opinion. The least likely. If it was on the outside, if it was on the loop, maybe, but not on that button snap. Not on that button snap. There's more to it, and I think that that's going to be a problem. And again, that's going to be something that they're going to have to argue. And then you go on to the flip side of that, and you look at the other stuff, and you just let's just remove the DNA. Say the DNA doesn't exist. Let's say the judge ruled that they did the process wrong. Okay, they did the process wrong on the DNA. The DNA is eliminated. Do we really think it takes the case? Because I really don't think it takes the case, because we still have the cell phone. We most likely have his searches. There's so much stuff that we're still in the dark about, because we got very limited information on the evidence that they pulled out of 1122 King Road. We haven't heard any of the evidence results from the office, from the car, from the Pennsylvania house, from the Steptoe apartments. We've got no results. We're reading pleadings, right? We're reading pleadings from Nancy Kohberger saying, hey, there's no connection to DNA, between my client and the victims. We're hearing her write that, but that doesn't make it true. Just because an attorney argues it in a pleading does not make it so. So we don't know what they have. They could have a plethora of DNA at the Steptoe apartments connecting him directly to the 4 University of Idaho students. We don't know. We haven't been provided that information. And we most likely won't be provided that information until the trial. And moreover, I honestly believe we're going to, I always have these little tiny nuggets of revelations that I usually am right on. What can I say? I'm Bullhorn Betty, right? I'm always right until I'm not. And then I'm still right? Because I'm Bullhorn Betty. What you going to do about it? No, I'm just joking. Stop. But I believe when the trial comes, I think we're all going to have our jaws on the floor. I think there's still such overwhelming information that we don't know that just is going to be like, he did it. Because everybody that's argued that he's innocent have said a few things. He wasn't in his car. Well, they conceded that he was. The other thing that they said was that it couldn't be him because what was some of the other stuff they said that it couldn't be him because the evidence, they planted evidence or they just wanted to pick on. I mean, some of the stuff that they really do come up with kind of kills me a little bit, just a little bit, because it's like, it doesn't make sense. Oh, why would they want to plant stuff on Bryan C. Kohberger? Why would they want to do that to him? Why not Jack D or Jack S or Jake? Why not Hunter, that lived across the street, that was clearly more of a party animal than the rest of them? Why wasn't it the kids down around the corner, right across the street where you had a perfect shot? Why wasn't it the RSO that literally had his property looking down on the kids' homes? You know, why none of the low hanging fruit? Why some oddball guy that none of us ever heard about all the way over in a different state? I mean, granted, it's close. It's, about 9 to 18 minutes away from the Idaho campus, depending on what time of day you're driving there. So it's close, but it's still in a different state. So please tell me how, I even try to read some of the people, trying to defend Bryan Kohberger and trying to explain their position on why they believe he's innocent. And I'm just still scratching my head and saying everything that you're saying that you think he's innocent for is the whole reason why I think he's guilty. Don't you hate that? Yeah, don't you hate it? It's just, some of those things that you just hate over time. I mean, it's just odd stuff. So what they're saying is they have some hurdles, and when asked why he thought the knife sheath had been left behind at the scene of the bloody slaying, Rollins said he believes it was a complete accident. And you guys know me. I told you, hey, Tony, nice to see you. Blackberry cobbler, I hope you have a couple extra slices. That sounds good. It does sound good. FG, it was nice to see you today in church. It was nice to see you. We had a great time. That was just a great, it was good. It was really what I needed. Like, I feel really good starting this week, this new week. I feel really energized, really charged, and you don't get that in any other place. But when I go to church, I just feel like, 180-pound weight just lifted off my shoulders. If you guys haven't gone to our service, we do it online. It's kind of like this where we're, on a YouTube and listening to a live broadcast of service over at the Countryside Christian Church. And if you guys like I'm supposed to be going with Lori Lowe. I've got to look up her number. I've been so busy. I haven't even had a chance. But Lori Lowe just moved near me. So now I actually have a coffee clubber near me. I got a friend. I need to call my friend. I need to check on her and see if she's moved in all well and whatnot. But I believe that Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez fought back, and who was in there with the knife, that's what the girls took. They grabbed it. That's why it was there. That makes sense. That does make sense. I mean, you think about it. We know that they were fighting. We know that. We definitely got that because, Steve didn't go into a whole bunch of stuff. Countryside Church in Clearwater. Love Lori Lowe. Yeah, we love Lori Lowe. Well, we love everybody. We love the coffee club. That's for sure. We're definitely building something here. And we know that the girls fought back, and we definitely know that Kaylee really did fight back. Who did this? Whether it be Bryan Kohberger or somebody else, it's the last thing in the world, especially if Kohberger, Mr. Criminology, it's the last thing in the world that a person would be. The last thing in the world that a person would do would be to leave behind his DNA. I think he was ultra careful. I think that he either forgot to put his gloves on when he snapped everything together and was getting out of the car to go into the house, or it happened while he was in the house getting the knife out. Maybe he couldn't get it out with his gloves and had to take his gloves off and pop the snap and forgot when everything happened. I mean, there's some explanation here as to why it's there, but without a doubt, the button snap. That's where it's hard for me to apply the transfer theory to it. It's just in an oddball spot. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem like it bodes well with it. But I really don't know. It paints at the picture of the ultimate scary boogeyman, that there's no way to defend herself off somebody that's analyzing allegedly the art of killing, he said. That's basically what I think they're going to argue, that this guy researched this and followed through with it. It's just sad. Rollins also theorizes that if Kohberger is the murderer, he may He may have wanted to test the system. I think he wanted to test the system and act out on whatever internal impulses he said. I think if he got away with it, that this would have been just the beginning. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. There is no doubt in my mind that if Bryan Kohberger had gotten away with this one, there would have been so many more people, because I truly believe, and if you've been watching me for any significant time, I said the reason why he went, I truly believe he went to Wazoo to carry this out. And this is before we even knew about the knife, if he purchased the knife. And now we're hearing that it's possible that he purchased the knife back in Pennsylvania, which goes to the theory that I've had for what, since November or December. I think it was December. I came up with the theory that I thought Bryan Kohberger was after his arrest, and I had an opportunity to look into him and find out who he was and speak to several friends. And then I started figuring out, and I thought that maybe he went there because I knew what his excuse was going to be. His excuse was going to be when things got hot, he was going to move home and go to a college closer to home. And it would have started there. And then it would have moved on. I really truly believe that he, when he went to that Ramsland lady, I can't remember her first name, Catherine Rumsland, something like that, that wrote the book related to BTK. I think he wanted that class with her. I think, just me personally, I think he kind of had an idea that there was something a little different about him, and I think he knew kind of what it was. And I think he wanted to explore that a little more. And I think that the criminology program and his efforts in that was starting to explain to him what was going on with him. I think it was letting him understand who he was and what his behaviors were. I think when he started, looking at BTK, I think he started fantasizing and getting stimulated by it, the thought. I think he concocted a plan after that he was going to go to the furthest university away and carry out to see if this is who he is. I believe that's what it was. I believe it was a test run. I can see that. I can see that theory playing out. I can see that theory playing out legitimately. I really could. So, I don't know. I also went ahead and pulled up the Gonzalez family page. It's been a little minute, since we've been here. And so my last text from Kaylee, I have no words, literally no words. And it was that picture of them sitting on top of each other. That was what they were wearing that night. That picture that we've been pushing around, all over. I don't think, at least up until now, maybe I knew it back then and I just forgot, but it was just this point that photo right there has been on our, a lot of our flyers, and with Xana and Dylan and all them, that was taken that day, the day before they were murdered, the night that they went out. Hey, Miss Ann, nice to see you, love. Isn't that crazy? That was what she sent them. Wow. I can't even imagine. Came home from working the resort today to beautiful flowers. I ran and got Kaylee's resin with her picture to place it together. And as I looked at it, my heart is heavy, feeling so much love and support from amazing people. We are always going to miss these kids, every one of them. Hold your loved ones close and always choose love. That is so pretty. Oh. That was another thing. I don't think people really understand how these kids, they were so kind and beautiful and smart. They did, like, the whole world was their oyster, and it was just snuffed away over something so sick and twisted and demented. It's hard. It really is. Oh, hey, Pink. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. I hope everybody's having a good day. I gotta be honest with you. I'm a little exhausted. I'm a little exhausted on this Sunday, and I know we're going to be getting back on track. So for those that are tuning in, and you guys are part of the coffee club, and you love the show at 6:30, it's going to be going back to 6:30 Monday through Friday. We're going to go back to 6:30 Monday through Friday. I can't really tell you what the weekends are, because to be honest with you, it's my weekends too. And you're not going to put me on a schedule, damn it. You're just not going to do it. That costs $3. Somebody needs to pony it up. No. They're going to be slamming me. That's okay. I got my what did I call them? I can't even remember what I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be like, what, a gold digger? My sugar daddy. There we go. Big boy took care of me. Throw me some money. I said I needed a sugar daddy. He stepped on the plate and said, "Hey, big girl, I'm big boy." I need to stop. I need to stop. I will tell you guys, tomorrow is going to be a sad day for many of us. Olivia's already reached out to me and it's like, don't forget to prepare a video and about Kaylee and all them. And I had been working on the interview that we had with the Gonzalez family. I know Olivia dropped it a little while ago, but I never really dropped the video on my end. And so I'm going to try to work on that. I'm not going to work on it, obviously, tonight. So I'm hoping that I get up early enough that I have enough time to work on it before we go live. Otherwise, we may have to do an afternoon live when it gets done and use that. I got to say that the interview that I'm going to be showing you guys tomorrow was done before Bryan Kohberger was arrested. Before. And Olivia and I, we discussed our questions, what we were going to, what direction we wanted to go. Of course, naturally, we're talking about, we want to know more about these kids. We want to know more about their, who could have done it. We want to know who they think did it. We wanted to, we had all these questions. And, we were talking and we were driving and talking and driving. And I've said, you know what, this isn't, no, I don't like the direction of, trying to have the Gonzalez point the finger at somebody. I don't like that. They're going through enough. And I kept thinking, what is missing from the story? And it was like every single news outlet, from ABC, CNN, Fox News, News Nation, they were all talking about the same thing, talking to the talking to Christy and Steve about Kaylee and Maddie and all of them in talking about, how angry they are with law enforcement. Do they think law enforcement got it right? And, always putting them on the spot. And I'm like, that just doesn't seem like it's going to, I don't know. I didn't want to be the same. And I didn't think it was what was right. Nobody was talking about them. Nobody was talking about Kaylee. Nobody was talking about Maddie. And you know what? That's what we wanted to know. That's what we wanted to know. We wanted to talk about them. We wanted to humanize them. We wanted to humanize the victims, not the assailant, not the boogeyman. And so I had all these lists, and I remember walking out of there and Olivia saying, "You didn't ask them this and you didn't ask them that." And I said, "No, I didn't. I didn't want to. I chose not to." Because at the end of the day, I felt like these parents, we don't know who did it. And I'm not going to ask these parents something and it possibly be put in a video and then them having to deal with that. I wasn't going to do that to them. And I think the approach that Olivia and I took in that interview, making it about Maddie, making it about Kaylee, I think that was the best thing we could have done. I loved the way it was all put together. It was beautiful. And I think it really showcased those girls and the love that they had for one another very beautifully. And my heart's sad. I'm in a melancholy spot, today. I've been in a melancholy spot yesterday, and I'm probably going to be in a very much of a melancholy spot tomorrow. These children's lives mattered. They didn't deserve this. And I hope that we seek justice for them. I really, really, truly do. Tomorrow morning, if you guys would like to be part of the coffee club, we're going to start at 6:30 tomorrow. We're going to go over the probable cause affidavit in the Bryan Kohberger case. I know you guys are like, we've read it 1,000 times. No, we haven't actually read it 1,000 times, but I think we need to go back to it because I want to explore this this topic a little more. How important is this DNA? And I don't think we're going to really understand truly what is the most important in this. I think we really need to reevaluate. We need to put different lenses on, and now go back and reread the probable cause affidavit in its entirety. What if we missed something? What if we forgot something? What if we need to look at something? We need to take a look. We need to take a look. All right, guys, it's been almost an hour, and I wasn't even going to do a lot. What can I say? I put my braids in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I look so cute. I just got to go live because I just love myself so much. Oh my God. No, that didn't happen. I went live and I said, oh crap, I need to do something with my hair. That's really what I did. It's gone by way too fast. I know it has. I don't have to just jump off here. I'm just don't feel like talking true crime anymore. I don't mind talking true crime. I just don't want to talk about this. I gotta tell you, this case does it makes me a little emotional. And I think what's different about us than mainstream media is I think that we kind of develop more of a bond with the case. I think really is actually I'm not really that tired. I could use some coffee. But I'm scared if I drink some coffee, I'm not going to go to sleep, and I'm not going to get up at 6:30. And everybody's going to be setting their alarm, and they're going to be like, you told us 6:30. Why are you rolling at 9:30 on a Monday morning? I don't know. I forgot where I was even going. Yeah, I guess I am. I'm probably more tired than I'd like to admit. What does it say? That's what you need. You need a schedule. Yeah, we're getting back on a schedule. Everything was a little funky for the last 9-10 months. And, a lot of the stuff, like I said, 90% of my problems just disappeared. And so I've got, about 10% of my problems still left to deal with. So I think on the grand scheme of things, I think things are doing really good on this side of things. But it's just, we're going to be getting back out there. We saw, I'm glad that Jen got some more help out there searching. I'm glad to see that people were there. But I got to caution, I hope Jen stays away from Don Wells. Don and Candace Bly, I think that they were at an event together or something like that. Distance yourself from that man. That man is no good, and he did horrible things to his children. We don't, as a matter of fact, that Don Wells guy, he's on my shit list. I want to see that man in jail so bad I can taste it. I literally can taste it. So, all right, guys. Well, to be honest with you, I am going to go. I'm going to get some stuff done. I'm going to check that, that video and see. I remember starting it. I had already had it all cut up. I was just going to put some transitions in and put some music behind it or something like that. I may have already done it. I just may not have produced it. I don't know what I did with it. I did it a long time ago. So I'll try to get something, I think it's going to be that interview because that's the interview I have not released yet. And I know Olivia released portions of it because she doesn't use the whole thing. She gets clips, a lot of the clips though. And so I think that's where we're going to be. So if you guys are interested in going through that interview again, please be here. Like I said, 6:30, I'll be running on Twitter, as well as YouTube. And guys, until next time, don't forget to be fearless. Right? Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and kind to one another, especially in the comment box below. Spread love, not hate, right? Spread love, not hate. And we will see you all in church next Sunday. But before Sunday comes Monday. And we'll see you back here real soon. God bless, guys.